So we understood that cylindrical waveguide, there will be two modes of propagation will be there. One is transfer electrical and transfer magnetic field will be there. So well, in that case, after understanding that particular thing, even our light will also travel in the same particular fashion also we understood. So after that we understood the mode coupling. So your mode coupling means what? From one mode to another mode or one fiber to another fiber. How we are coupling the energy? Coupling means what? From one to another, how we are going to connect without losing the energy. That's how the things are to be considered. The mode coupling, the fiber waveguide perturbations, that is such as the deviation of the fiber axis from the straightness, the variations in the core diameter, irregularities of the core cladding interface, and the refractive index variations. So these are the parameters, and these may change the propagation of light and the propagation characteristics of the light in the fiber. So after we understanding this one, we have seen that two cases, what happens if the irregularity is present and what happens if the bending is more. So in this particular diagram, you can see that in the first, that is top diagram, I can able to see that there is a irregularity. Okay, there is a irregularity. So that particular irregularity is like in the core structure there is a elongation. So in that particular elongation, if you see, the angle of incidence must match to the angle of reflection. Okay, so now here what exactly is happening is angle of incidence is not being proper because when it hits the elongated edge itself, the angle of incidence may be correct, but angle of reflection is getting affected. That is why the signal will not take the total internal reflection path. So when that is happening, we are going to lose the energy. That is what exactly the meaning. The second thing is what? There is a bend. So when you are talking about the bending, when we are talking about the bending, so what exactly happens is when the angle of incidence and when the angle of reflection in the first point, when you see in the second figure, it is the bottom figure. From the left hand side, you start seeing. So there is a phi 1, phi 1. That means what angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection. That is fine. That means what reflection to be happen if the angle of incidence and reflection is same, then the reflection is going to be corrected. So now when it reflected and when the bending is there, so you can see that next time the angle of incidence is going to get affected because it will take longer path. Okay, so instead of taking the straight path, it will take some longer path and it will hit some edges due to the bending at any particular point. So at that particular time, what happens? The angle of incidence is changed. When the angle of incidence is changed, obviously angle of reflection is same as your angle of incidence. So the first angle of incidence and second angle of incidence are not matching. So when there is a mismatch in the angle of incidences between first and second and later, then what happens? The signal will not take the exact and what exactly called as a desired path. It will take some other path. You may get the signal out of it, but some part will be damaged, some part will be affected. That is what exactly the mode coupling problems what we have. One is irregularity, second one is what? The bending of the fiber we can see in the diagram. So later we started with the comparison of single mode and multi-mode fiber. Okay, so these are some of the differences what we have understood, and we have seen the geometrical structure also. And we have seen the refractive index profile and ray propagation diagram. And later we started with the step index fiber. So what do you mean by step index and graded index and all we have seen in the last classes. So this is the numerical what you call for the refractive index profile for the graded index fiber. So this is the diagram where in the graded index fiber the wave will travel in the form of skew rays. That is what exactly the understanding what we need to do it. Later today we shall start the differences between the step indexed and the graded indexed optical fiber. So today class we shall start. You can able to please take it down, all of you. The first one is what step indexed fiber. The make it 2 columns. The first is what step indexed fiber, and second one is what graded indexed fiber. So now what exactly I want to say is whatever the things we understood about the step index and graded index so far. So we will put all these things in the form of difference, in the form of differences. In the form of differences. The first difference, as I told you, whenever you're writing the differences between any two things, generally what happens is the first difference will be the definition. Okay, so what is the definition is saying in the step indexed fiber? It is the refractive index of core is uniform and changes abruptly at the cladding. So it is a definition, step index. That means what? The core is having one particular refractive index. And when I'm talking about the core, it is with respect to the entire core throughout the fiber. Okay, so entire core region will be having one refractive index, and entire cladding will be having another refractive index. So that means what? When we are talking about the core cladding interface, what happens? The core refractive index and cladding refractive index are changed. So we can see that abrupt change. There is a first difference. The refractive index of core is uniform and changes abruptly at the cladding. So when we are talking about the graded index, it is something like a refractive index of core is a function of radial distance from the fiber center. The refractive index of core is a function of radial distance from the fiber center. So that means what here? The core and cladding is not an abrupt change. Core and cladding is not having the abrupt change. Then what is it is having? It is having in such a way that we are talking about the radial distance from the center of the core. So as the radius is increasing, okay, the refractive index of fiber is also getting changed. Okay, initially the maybe the center point, if you're talking about you take the cross section area, the center point of core will be having some more refractive index. When the distance from center point to the edge of the fiber, when the edge of the core, when it is passing, the refractive index will start reducing. Okay, so that is what exactly the meaning of graded indexed fiber. So now the second difference when you're talking about, these are the some of the parameters I can say. So or else technical specifications I can say. So but these are required for in order to write the differences. Okay, even though we cannot able to see that particular differences in the fiber, but generally experiments have been done and we got this particular, what do you call for that, we have got this particular details, technical details. The first difference is definition. The second difference is they may have a bandwidth of 50 megahertz. When you're talking about step index fiber, they may have the bandwidth of 50 megahertz. So the same thing when you're talking about in the graded indexed fiber, it is like they have bandwidth of 200, 400 and 600 megahertz and more. Okay, they have bandwidth of 200, 400, 600 megahertz and more. So since it is step index fiber, usually one particular wave will be propagated, one particular mode will be employed here. So the bandwidth limitation it is having, since it is having the only one refractive index, the bandwidth is 50 megahertz, whereas in the graded indexed fiber, so it will be 200, 400, 600 megahertz and it is more. The third difference when you're talking about it is attenuation is more. That is a technical observation. What we can make is attenuation in the step index fiber is more, whereas in the attenuation in the graded indexed fiber is less. So typical core size is of 50 to 200 micrometers, whereas in the graded indexed fiber also it is 50 to 100 micrometers. So typical cladding size is 125 micrometers, whereas the typical cladding size is 125 to 140 micrometers, whereas in step index it is 400 micrometers. So there is some small diametrical change. Okay, so geometrical changes will be there. Apart from it, few technical changes are also there, which is in present. So that contributes to step index as well as graded index fiber. Please make a note of it. I'll give you 1 minute of time. So once it is done, any one of you please let me know. So take 1 minute. Don't take more than that. First difference is the definition. Second difference is the bandwidth. Third difference is attenuation. The fourth difference is core size, and the fifth difference is the cladding size. So still many of the students are not joined here. So only 30 students are joined. Any one of you please tell your friends to join the class and attend the classes regularly. Okay, so I hope that you will have taken this one. So next differences, next another three differences when you're talking about here, the refractive index difference, relative refractive index difference. Okay, so it is given by. So always you follow this particular information. It is very important thing. So relative refractive index, okay, difference, that is delta, is given by delta equal to n1 minus n2 divided by n1. So n1 minus n2 divided by n1 is the relative refractive index difference. Okay, so which is concerned to the step index 5. So same thing when you're talking about the graded indexed fiber, here relative refractive index difference, it is given by delta equal to n1 square minus n2 square divided by 2n1 square. So this is the, with respect to the propagation of light and geometrical structure, we can make that particular relative refractive index difference, that is delta equal to n1 square minus n2 square divided by 2n1 square. So now in the step indexed fiber, the coupling efficiency is more. When I'm talking about the coupling efficiency, so coupling efficiency is more in the step index fiber, whereas in the graded indexed fiber, coupling efficiency is less. Whereas in the graded indexed fiber, the coupling efficiency is less. So here in the last, this one difference is the step indexed fiber, the pulse spreading is more, whereas in the graded indexed fiber, pulse spreading is less. So that means what, when you're talking about step index and graded index, there is some slight advantage and disadvantages also. Okay, so bandwidth, when you're comparing with the step index and graded index, bandwidth is fine with the graded index. And when you're talking about the coupling efficiency, so coupling efficiency is more in the step index and it is less in the graded index. Whereas in the, when you're talking about the pulse spreading, okay, so here pulse spreading is more in the step index, and whereas in the graded index is less. So pulse spreading should be less, and it is advantageous also. but coupling efficiency should be more. Okay, so graded index is having less. The coupling efficiency is less. So that is one of the disadvantages in the graded index fiber. So that is how. So when you're choosing the optical fiber step index and graded index, so we must always think that, so which is suitable and which is required for our application. So based on that one, we need to choose this one, and we need to choose and we need to use that particular kind of fibers. So hope that you people have taken this one. So if you're not taken, I'll give you 1 minute of time. Please make a note of it. Okay, you people have taken, I think so. So this particular fiber materials have been already discussed. So if I just brief out the things, so requirements for selecting the fiber material, it must be possible to make long, thin, flexible fibers. The material must be transparent and it is physically compatible. So after that, the plastic fiber and the glass fibers, two categories we have discussed. And here how the doping affects also we have discussed. Yeah, after that we have discussed one type of particular fiber is photonic crystal fibers. So this is structure of photonic crystal fibers. What are the operational advantages? And photonic band gap fiber. Okay, fiber cable. Here armored cable, tight buffered cable. And at the last it is loose tube fiber cable. And in that ribbon cable also we have discussed. So indoor cables, outdoor cables and all we have discussed. So now based on all this understanding of the module number 1, so collectively we have some numericals to be solved. Okay, so what are the particular numericals? We will take it. The first numerical all of you take down is we'll solve one by one. So at question you take from here and answer we will discuss. Answer we will discuss in the whiteboard. So first numerical you take down all of you. A light ray of incident. The light ray is incident from medium 1 to medium 2. A light ray is incident from medium 1 to medium 2. Full stop. If the refractive indices of the medium 1 and medium 2 are, if the refractive indices of the medium 1 and medium 2 are 1.5 and 1.36 respectively, 1.5 and 1.36 respectively, then determine the angle of refraction. Then determine the angle of refraction for an angle of incidence of 30 degrees. For an angle of incidence of 30 degrees. So I hope that people have taken this one. Now we'll solve this numerical. Okay, I'll take the whiteboard. So please wait for 1 minute. So just wait for 1 minute. I'm opening that particular whiteboard. Okay. So I hope that you people are seeing that particular whiteboard, right? Anyone of you please confirm? Anyone of you please confirm that are you seeing that whiteboard on your screen? Anyone of you here? Okay. So numerical one, if you are discussing the question, if I just read out, it is a light ray is incident from medium 1 to medium 2. If the refractive indexes of medium 1 and medium 2 are 1.5 and 1.36. Okay, so when we are discussing about this numericals, what we do is, first thing is what given data. So what they have given, the medium, the refractive index of medium 1, okay, so is 1.5. Similarly, the refractive index of medium 2 is 1.36. So among these two mediums, so which is greater? So 1.2, 1.5 is greater value. So when the propagation is having, we consider the greater value as core. So when we are talking about the core, we call it as refractive index N1 and we call it as remaining thing is what? Cladding. We consider this as the cladding, and that is why we call it as N1, and for cladding it is N2. So I can say that N1 equal to 1.5 and N2 equal to 1.36. So now after that, what they are given? Determine the angle of refraction. So angle of refraction, we need to find angle of refraction equal to what? Okay. So here angle of reflection they have given. What they have given? Angle of, not reflection, angle of incidence they have given. Angle of incidence equal to 30 degrees. So we know that we always say that angle of incidence is first, that is phi1, and angle of incidence, angle of refraction is phi2. So phi1 is 30 degrees, phi2 equal to what? That is what exactly we need to find out. So in that case, how we can use is solution. Because these are the given terms. Solution we can see. What is the solution? Solution is using Snell's law. Using Snell's law. So we know that, what is that we know? N1 sine phi1 equal to N2 sine phi2. Okay, so this is for medium 1 and this is for medium 2. Okay, medium 1, medium 2 we can consider. So in that particular medium 1 and medium 2, so if we consider that refraction will happen, okay, so here need not to consider always the core. So without core also we can consider the things. But usually I told that when the refractive index is given more, for that value you can consider as core, or else no, not necessary. Okay. So Snell's law is not defined for core and crowding, it is for medium 1 and medium 2 they have given. So now replace the values, substitute the values. When we are talking about N1 value is 1.5, sine phi 1 is 30 degrees, equal to N2 is 1.36, sine phi 2. So here I can say that sin phi 2 equal to 1.5, 1.36, 1.5 divided by 1.36 into sin 30 degrees. So in your calculator you can see that sin 30 degrees is how much, and if you take the multiplication factor and all, so you will get sin phi 2 equal to 0.55147, like that you will get. So you can limit to up to 4 digits or 4 decimal point, it's fine. So I have taken 5 here. So obviously if it shift sine this side, it will become what? Sine inverse. So phi 2 equal to sine inverse of this particular value, that is 0.55147. Okay. So it is equal to, if you take the calculator and if you find out the value, so it will be equal to 33.46 degrees. 33.46 degrees you are going to get. So you just verify that all of you, whether you got the same answer or not. Okay, all of you are sleeping or what? No one is responding. Why? I get some responses now. So I feel that people are listening. So for your sake only, we are doing all these things. Kindly don't take it lightly. So all of you kindly listen to the class, understand the things, make a note of it, so that it will be helpful for your examination, and it will definitely helpful if you're writing any competitive exams and all these small details and all. So you will not get this time once again. So listen to the class. When you listen to the class and when you write the things, it will be good for you. So need not to study once again and again and again without understanding. Okay, understand here. Okay, learn here only. It will be good. Okay, no one is responding. Fine, no problem. We'll carry on. Hope that you understood this particular numerical, those who are listening and those who are not responding also. So this phi 2 we have found out. This phi 2 is termed as angle of refraction. Okay, because Snell's law is given for that only. So I can say that this particular phi 2 is termed as, I can say therefore, angle of refraction is 33.46 degrees. Angle of refraction is 33.46 degrees. Okay. So now, after this particular numerical, we'll go to the second numerical. I'll write the question here only. Okay. The second one, the numerical number second. So write the question with me only. A light ray is incident. Write down. A light ray is incident from glass to air, comma, calculate the critical angle, phi c. So now this is the question what they have given. So I'll give you 1 minute of time to just think over it. In this numerical, okay, the solution, if you are seeing solution. So now in this particular numerical, they have not even given that refractive index is what? They are not given. What is angle of incidence? They are not given. Okay, what this they have given that ray is entering from glass to air and calculate the critical angle phi c. That is what they have given. Now, what is our responsibility and what is our understanding? We must think and we must understand it. So remember, we know that. Okay, why we know that? Because we know what is the refractive index of air and what is the refractive index of a glass. Always write down. We know that refractive index of glass. Refractive index of glass is 1.50. Okay, so refractive index of glass is 1.50. Okay, so similarly, refractive index of air is 1. Refractive index of air is 1 or 1.00. So here I will call this as N1 and here I am going to call this as N2. So refractive index of glass and refractive index of air. So this is these two are the general values. Okay, so they may give or you must assume. Okay, write down. They may give or you must assume. So if they are not given, you are going to must assume. And don't think that this question there is not complete, they will give the grace marks. No. So we know the refractive index of glass is 1.50 and refractive index of air is 1.00. So later, okay. So later we know that angle. We know that right on. We know that Snell's law. Snell's law is. We know that Snell's law is N1 sin phi 1 or theta 1 equal to N2 sin phi 2. N1 sin phi 1 equal to N2 sin phi 2. So in this particular case, what exactly we know is, okay, so medium 1 we consider as glass. Okay, so this is the what exactly called as what? Medium 1. And this is what exactly called as what? Medium 2. So when you're considering that medium 1 and medium 2, okay, so here what exactly happens is, medium 1 is glass, medium 2 is air. Okay, so here angle of incidence from glass to air, that means what? The ray passes from medium 1 to medium 2. That is why I have given that N1 sin phi 1 equal to N2 sin phi 2. So here N1 value we consider as 1.50 Sin phi 1 is angle of incidence, that we don't know. So N2 is 1.00 sin phi 2. So here they asked us that to calculate the critical angle. So the hint they are given. What is the hint they are given? Hint is they asked to calculate critical angle. In order to calculate what is critical angle, so in the critical angle, angle of refraction is 90 degrees. So when the angle of refraction is 90 degrees, okay. So what is the critical angle? Angle of incidence is what? That is what exactly. So this angle of refraction will be equal to phi 2. So then we need to find out what is phi 1 equal to phi c, that is critical angle, equal to how much we need to find out. So in that case, I can consider that sin phi 1 equal to 1.00 divided by 1.50 into sin 90 degrees. Sin 90 degrees is 1. Okay. Sin 90 degrees is 1. So in that case, phi, okay, phi c will be equal to sin inverse of 1.00 divided by 1.50. So equal to how much? Anyone of you please tell me. Phi c equal to sin inverse of 1.00 divided by 1.50. What is that answer you got? One divided by 1.5. That will come around 0.667. So sin inverse of so here we need to consider that sin inverse of 0.667 is how much? Okay. So please calculate and tell me, anyone of you. I am waiting. By that time, those are already done. Please write it down also. So it will come around 41.78 degrees. Write down. So I was waiting for your answer, but nobody has responded. Write down 41.78 degrees. Okay, 41.78 degrees. Okay. Next we will see the third numerical. So write down all of you. So the numerical number 3. So write the question. Calculate the numerical aperture acceptance angle and critical angle of the fiber, having N1, that is the core refractive index, equal to 1.50 and refractive index of cladding equal to 1.45. Now we'll see the solution. So the solution we're talking about, it is whereas N1 equal to 1.50, N2 equal to 1.45, N1 equal to 1.50 and N2 equal to 1.45. That is what they are given. Now we know that relative refractive index difference value we know. So what is that particular value? Delta equal to N1 minus N2 divided by N1. So that is equal to 1.5 minus 1.45 divided by 1.5. So that will come across 0.033. Okay. So now they asked us to calculate the numerical aperture. The numerical aperture when we are talking about, numerical aperture is NA, that is equal to N1 into square root of 2 delta. N1 equal to square root of N1 into square root of 2 delta. So it is a refractive index, what we call for the numerical aperture value. So here N1 is 1.50, the square root of 2 into delta value is 0.033. So if you get this value, you will get like 0.387. So numerical aperture value will come across 0.387. Okay. So hope that all of you have taken this one. So after we understanding this particular value, numerical aperture equal to what? Okay. So next, the acceptance angle they have given. So what is the acceptance angle? Acceptance angle phi A, okay, equal to sine inverse of numerical aperture. So here sine inverse of numerical aperture is what? Sine inverse of 0.387 value you are going to get. Okay. So that how much you will get, you can please calculate. So next they are given that critical angle. Okay, they are given that critical angle. So this critical angle phi c we represent, that is equal to sin inverse of n2 by n1. So this is the value we already given understood in the critical angle, the derivation. So here that will be equal to what, sin inverse of 1.45 divided by 1.5.